you ever wondered how thousands of enslaved individuals managed to escape to freedom in the 19th century America, defying all odds? Picture a network of secret routes and safe houses, a clandestine lifeline stretching from the slave-holding southern United States to the free northern states, and even as far as Canada. This is the Underground Railroad, a beacon of hope for those desperate to escape the shackles of slavery. But don't let the name fool you. The Underground Railroad was not a physical railroad, nor was it underground. Instead, it was a complex, well-coordinated system of people, both black and white, who risked their lives to help those seeking freedom. It was a journey fraught with danger, but fueled by the unyielding human spirit and the pursuit of freedom. Let's dive into the fascinating chronicles of this network that symbolizes resistance against human oppression. The inception of the Underground Railroad was as clandestine as its operations. This secret network, which would come to play a pivotal role in the fight against slavery, had humble beginnings in the late 18th century. The earliest traces of the Underground Railroad can be found in the actions of Quakers, who were among the first to voice opposition to slavery. Their belief in equality and human dignity led them to provide safe havens for runaway slaves. Their homes, places of worship, and other establishments became the initial stations of this secret network, offering shelter, food, and aid to those seeking freedom. Alongside the Quakers, the abolitionist movement was gaining momentum. These passionate individuals, both white and black, were united in their belief that slavery was morally reprehensible. They worked tirelessly to rally public opinion against this inhumane institution, often risking their lives in the process. Many abolitionists became active conductors on the Underground Railroad, guiding escaped slaves along the perilous journey to freedom. Let's not forget the role of free African Americans. Their courage and determination were instrumental in establishing and expanding the network. Their intimate knowledge of local terrains and communities facilitated the safe passage of fugitives, while their personal experiences of freedom ignited a beacon of hope for those still in bondage. As we moved into the 19th century, the resistance against slavery intensified, and so did the operations of the Underground Railroad. The network grew exponentially, its tracks reaching from the deep south all the way to the free states in the north, and even across the border into Canada. Each new station, each new conductor added to the railroad was another blow against the institution of slavery. It was a testament to the indomitable human spirit and the universal yearning for freedom. The Underground Railroad was slowly taking shape, ready to challenge the inhumane institution of slavery. The stage was set, and the battle lines were drawn. The Underground Railroad was about to embark on a remarkable journey that would forever change the course of history. Operating under constant threat, the Underground Railroad had to be secretive and efficient. It was not a physical railroad, but rather a network of secret routes and safe houses used by enslaved African Americans as they sought freedom in the North. Much like a coded language, the Underground Railroad adopted its own terminology. The routes were often referred to as lines. Safe houses were stations. The people who hid and aided the enslaved individuals were station masters, and those who guided them on their journey were aptly named conductors. These conductors were the unsung heroes of the Underground Railroad, bravely leading the enslaved to safety, often under the cover of darkness. They used creative methods to communicate covertly, such as songs with hidden messages and quilts with coded patterns. The North Star, for instance, was a common symbol used in these codes, guiding the way to freedom. The stations were places of refuge, where the weary travelers could rest and regain their strength. These could be private homes, churches, or even barns, scattered across the landscape, often miles apart. The station masters were the courageous individuals who risked their own safety to harbor those on the run, providing them with food, shelter, and sometimes even disguises. The operations of the Underground Railroad were fraught with danger. There was always the looming threat of discovery and punishment, not just for the enslaved seeking freedom, but also for the station masters and conductors who aided them. Yet despite the risks, they pressed on, propelled by a shared belief in the fundamental right to freedom. This network was not just a system of covert operations, it was a collective act of defiance against the oppressive institution of slavery. It was an affirmation of the human spirit, a beacon of hope for those yearning for freedom. Every station, every conductor, every coded message was a piece of a larger puzzle, working together to guide the enslaved towards a life of freedom. The Underground Railroad was a testament to human bravery and the indomitable spirit of freedom. And as we delve deeper into its history, we uncover stories of courage, tenacity, and an unwavering commitment to the pursuit of freedom. Behind the successful operations of the Underground Railroad were several unsung heroes. Among them were individuals who risked everything for the sake of freedom and justice. They were the conductors, station masters, and agents of the Underground Railroad, the secret network that led countless enslaved people towards freedom. One of the most renowned figures of the Underground Railroad was Harriet Tubman. Born into slavery, Tubman managed to escape and could have lived a life of relative safety. Yet she chose to repeatedly risk her life, returning to the South to guide others to freedom. Her bravery and commitment to the cause were unparalleled. She became known as Moses, guiding her people to the promised land of freedom, just like the biblical figure. Another key figure was William Still, often referred to as the father of the Underground Railroad. Born free, Still dedicated his life to abolitionist efforts. His meticulous record-keeping provided us with invaluable information about the operations of the Underground Railroad. He personally aided hundreds of people seeking freedom, and his tireless efforts were instrumental in the success of the network. Not to be forgotten is Thomas Garrett, a man whose commitment to the cause cost him everything. A wealthy Quaker from Delaware, Garrett was a key station master on the Underground Railroad. He assisted nearly 3,000 enslaved people on their journey to freedom. Despite being fined heavily and losing all his possessions for his activities, he never wavered in his commitment. Each of these individuals demonstrated an extraordinary level of bravery and dedication. They risked their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor in the pursuit of a more just world. They operated in the shadows, yet their impact was far from hidden. They were the shining lights in the darkest corners of a nation struggling with its identity. These individuals were the beacon of hope for many, guiding them towards a life of freedom. Their stories of bravery and commitment are an integral part of the rich tapestry that is the history of the Underground Railroad. The Underground Railroad, while operating in shadows, left a profound impact on American history. A clandestine network of safe houses and secret routes, this covert operation functioned beneath the surface of society, yet its ripple effects were monumental. It's estimated that tens of thousands of enslaved individuals found their way to freedom through the Underground Railroad. Each person who escaped not only changed their own destiny, but also sent ripples of hope back to those they left behind. Every successful escape was a testament to the human spirit's unyielding quest for freedom and a stark challenge to the institution of slavery. Then came the Fugitive Slave Act. This law meant to stifle the flame of freedom, making it even more perilous for those seeking escape and those aiding them. But instead of extinguishing the fire, it fanned the flames. The Underground Railroad operators, undeterred by this daunting legislation, became even more determined in their resolve to help enslaved individuals escape, demonstrating immense courage and fortitude. The Underground Railroad wasn't just a beacon of hope for enslaved people, it also played a pivotal role in galvanizing the abolitionist movement. The narratives of those who escaped through the Underground Railroad fueled the abolitionists' resolve, providing first-hand accounts of the horrors and inhumanity of slavery. These stories, shared far and wide, stirred the conscience of the nation, sparking debates and discussions that would eventually lead to the eruption of the Civil War. The Underground Railroad, this intricate network of secret routes and safe houses, was much more than a path to freedom. It stood as a symbol of defiance against an unjust system, igniting a spark that would eventually engulf the nation in a struggle for equality. Its legacy is a testament to the power of collective action, the indomitable human spirit, and the enduring quest for freedom. The Underground Railroad was not just a passage to freedom, it was a catalyst for change. As we retrace the tracks of the Underground Railroad, we are reminded of the courage, resilience, and the quest for freedom. We've journeyed through the clandestine passages of history, from the early beginnings marked by desperation and fear, to the ingenious mechanics that breathed life into this remarkable network. We've witnessed the valiant figures who risked everything for the promise of freedom, their stories etched in the annals of time, their legacy carried forward by those they helped liberate. This journey has been more than a historical exploration. It's been a poignant reminder of a time when freedom was a distant dream for many. It's a chapter of our history that calls us to remember, to learn, and to ensure such atrocities are never repeated. The Underground Railroad, a symbol of resistance and hope, continues to inspire us, reminding us of the enduring human spirit and the relentless pursuit of freedom.